For today's devotion, we're going to take a look at a verse from Psalm 63. But before we dive into it, at the beginning here, the little header that's there, it says it's a psalm of David when he was in the desert of Judah. And so David is wandering in the desert of Judah, and he says these words. Verse 1, he says, "You, God, are my God. Earnestly I seek you. I thirst for you. My whole being longs for you in a dry and parched land where there is no water." Now, I've had the opportunity to be able to walk some of those desert lands in Israel. And it can get hot, and it can be a dry and parched place. And so, thankfully, when we went, we were given one of these backpacks that has a bladder to hold some water, and then you have access to it with this like long straw that you could stick into your mouth, and so you can drink and access that while walking through the land. And I can't tell you how necessary that was. I mean, I'm pretty sure the hottest it got while we were there was 107 degrees. Walking through the desert with that kind of heat, it just saps the water right from you. And so you just need to constantly be drinking, constantly filling yourself. And so to not have that, I imagine that as David is walking through the desert, he is thirsty beyond belief. Like the only thing he really wants is water. He just can't wait till he gets to the next point where there's a place to drink. I imagine it kind of like kids, riding along in the car asking, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?" In my mind, David's walking through this desert and he's just thinking, where's the next water? When do I get to the next drink? Where do I get that? And so everything in him is just seeking for this water. And yet he pauses and reflects. And he says, "You, God, are my God, and I earnestly seek you. I thirst for you with all of my being, even in this dry and parched land." David's saying, "God, you are the most important thing. You are the thing that sustains me. And so more than anything else, more than even my desire for water, I desire you, God. I long for you. I earnestly seek you." I think that's a powerful proclamation that David has. And if I look into my own self, I think there are seasons in my life where that might be true, and then other seasons where it's not. Seasons where I do maybe seek other things. I long for other things before God. And so this is a reminder that God needs to be my number one. And so I hope as you hear this devotional here this morning as well, that you're taking an honest look in your own life. And you're thinking, do I earnestly seek God today? Do I thirst for him like I'm walking through a desert and just want him more than even water? Do I desire God? And maybe then the question is, if you do, what steps are you going to take to continue to have access to that water, to keep sipping on him, to carry him with you everywhere you go? If you don't, how do you get there? How do you get yourself to desire God? How do you open your heart up to him? Because he's our God. He's saved us. He's rescued us. It's something that he's given us so much. And all he wants is us to praise and to glorify him. And so, as he is our God, we should earnestly seek him. We should thirst him like we're walking through a dry and parched land, and all we want is a little bit more God. All we want is to connect with him, to have him pour and fill in us, to fill us up with him. Amen.